Before every season that comes out in Splatoon 3, we get a trailer showing off the new content, and that was the case for Drizzle season. Since the season would come out so close to the game's 1-year anniversary, it was extremely important for Nintendo to build up hype with a carefully crafted trailer that would show off all the new and interesting features. And it sucked. That trailer only showed us a fraction of what we ended up getting. Yeah, there were some interesting things, but nothing to make us think that we're celebrating the game's 1-year anniversary. So, as you'd expect, a lot of people were quite disappointed and made it known. But now it's here, and in this video I want to talk about all the features in Drizzle season to determine if that negativity was warranted or if we were wrong about this update. One of the few things we saw in the trailer was the new maps. At first, I was very cautiously optimistic about these because they seemed a bit too good. But, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, we got good Splatoon 3 originals. Even though I've been saying that the maps get slightly better with every season, I did not expect such a leap. So we need to talk about these two new maps. Our first map is Crab-like Capital. The grates are its main focus, but I like that I don't have to use them, but they're done pretty well unlike some other maps in the game, so I actually don't mind using them that much. There's also a ton of inkable walls, some flanks in every mode, and even multiple routes to push in ranked modes. The map isn't huge, but I wouldn't say that it's small either. It doesn't feel as cramped as some other new maps like Barnacle or Undertow. Overall, a very fun stage. Ship-Shape Cargo Company is definitely my favorite map out of the two though. I think Mid is really interesting. Not only are there flanks, but there's those two elevated areas that give great options for positioning, and the terrain makes for dynamic fights that aren't the usual 1v1 on a flat surface in Mid like most other maps. Again, there's a lot of inkable walls and most modes are incredibly fun. Except Rainmaker, that's literally just a straight line for some reason. I don't quite know what happened here, but the other modes are great. These new maps feel great. Winning is rewarding and losing doesn't feel unfair. The movement, flanks, and overall terrain make it so that every weapon can play without being fucked over by the map design. Are they perfect? No, but they're leagues better than all the other new maps. This is Splatoon 3 stages done right. I do not know how we went from those boring ass hallways to this, but I really hope that the devs see how positively we responded to these new maps and make the next ones just as good and maybe even rework the maps we already have. Along with that, we got a few new weapons, including two completely new ones. Dreadringer is a slasher and its gimmick is that it fires 2 slashes at once. It's a 3-shot kill and its kit is Suction Bomb Reef Slider. Honestly, it seems a little weak right now. I don't see it often, and when I do, I don't feel very threatened by it, but I think it could be really good with a few buffs. Then we have the Heavy Edit Splatling. Its gimmick is that the longer you charge it, the faster the fire rate is. Its kit is Curling Bomb Tacticooler and it seems like a very strong weapon. It might get hit with nerfs soon because it has no real downsides right now, but I still think it'll be really good, especially when it has a special as good as Tacticooler. I don't play slashers or splatlings in PvP, but I've been really enjoying these new weapons in Salmon Run. Dreadringer is really good against lesser salmonids, and Heavy Edit is as good as any other splatling, so they've been really fun. And then we have the new kits. I'm gonna be real, the amount of kits decreasing every season is very concerning. Even if the kits themselves are getting better, we should still get more than just 8. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather they take their time to make good content than rush out bad content, but weapons should not take this long, over a year, to get their second kit. It's just unfair to people who main those weapons, especially if the one kit they have isn't good. I just think they should add more kits every season, because at this rate, I don't even know if certain weapons are getting a second kit by the end of the update cycle. The weapons this season are pretty on par with what we usually get, some good, some bad, overall just okay. Now I want to talk about the 1-year anniversary event, the Shiver vs Fry vs Big Man Splatfest. As you probably already know, I'm not the biggest fan of Turf War, but this is definitely the most fun I've had with Splatfest. I think the random tricolor stages was a great idea. It feels like a summary of the past year in a way. Do I wish we had a deep cut exclusive map? Yes, but I'm not mad about this either. I had a lot of fun revisiting those old tricolor stages. Also, they made Turf War open and pro into 2 different rotations, and they announced it only days after I complained about it in my Splatfest video. Not saying I did that, but you're welcome. Jokes aside, these small things added much needed variety and it made the gameplay way more enjoyable. But my favorite addition for this Splatfest was actually the new song, Big Betrayal. It's definitely in my list of top 10 Splatoon songs. Of course, music is completely subjective, but you can't deny that it goes insane. I think this Splatfest was executed very well. I really enjoyed playing it even if I generally don't like turf war, and the theme felt meaningful. I'll always have my nitpicks, but I still had a lot of fun. Definitely the best Splatfest so far. Now let's move on to the Salmon Run Additions. I already spoke about Big Run and the Grisco Dualies in my last video, check it out if you haven't already, but to put it short, that Big Run was amazing and I will never shut up about how cool the Grisco Dualies are. Outside of that, we got a returning map from Splatoon 2, Salmon Smokeyard. As expected, it is currently quite the struggle in freelance. I do think it'll get better with time as people get used to it, but it'll still be one of the harder ones since it's fairly small in normal tide and high tide, and people still seem a bit shy about using those platforms. I haven't played it a ton myself, so I can't go into much detail right now, but I really like this stage. It might even be my second favorite map after Junction. At first, I was really nervous about this map, seeing how painful the other Splatoon 2 ports are, but this one is hard in a good way. In my opinion, Salmon Smokeyard is the best and only good port from Splatoon 2. People just need a bit of time to get used to its difficulties. And finally, let's talk about some other smaller features. The first here is the catalog. To be honest, I really don't like that they're reusing catalog content this early, especially when there's close to nothing new in the shops. Most of the new stuff is in Grisco anyway, so it's very hard to get if you're not absolutely insane about Salmon Run. The rest of the catalog is great, but I'm really disappointed about the gear. I don't really know what the deal is with gear. Sizzle Season had almost nothing as well, and I'm just a bit confused as to why. But on a more positive note, they did add the ability to adjust caps and t-shirts. It's a small thing, but I really like it, makes for more variety in outfits. They also added over 300 locker decorations, which is a little insane to me. That is a lot of decorations, but I'm not complaining. We also have 80 new banners and 400 titles. I'm always a fan of customizability in games, so I love all these new little things, and most of them look really good. There's new music from a band called H2O. Didn't expect to get more music this early, but I'm very glad. I like these new songs a lot, and I'm happy to have more variety in battle music. We can also now go in recon mode directly from the schedule without having to go to Marigold on the other side of the plaza. It's a small quality of life thing, but it saves a lot of time and it's already been really practical. I always think it's really cool when they add those small but important additions. It just shows that the devs care a lot about the game. And many small changes become one big change and players can definitely feel the difference. Overall, I really liked this season. Even though we didn't get much, we got some high quality content and I'm satisfied with that. This season has been a ton of fun so far. I also think it's important to acknowledge that they're putting a lot of resources into side order right now, and I'm happy to get less content if it ensures that the DLC is the best it can be. Speaking of the DLC, they're starting to slowly add things related to it into the game's files, and I just want to let you guys know that I won't talk about side order leaks on this channel. I generally don't share leaks for those who don't want to be spoiled, so yeah, just letting you guys know in case anyone was worried about that. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of Drizzle season in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!